Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. They say time heals all wounds, but in this case, it also handed out a couple of reality checks. Today on rSpace, this cheater found out the hard way that time doesn't just heal, it also exposes who was really holding everyone back. Cheating wife turned kids and family against me to avoid divorce. I still went ahead and everyone hates me. I, 47 male, was married to Jackie, 47 female, for 19 years. We have two daughters, Millie, 16 female, and Sasha, 13 female. The early days of raising the kids were tough. Finances were tight, both had full-time jobs. We would constantly fight about who's giving more. As we sailed through and the girls grew up, I realized we were unbreakable. If we could survive those days, then the future seemed smooth. Destiny had different plans. 3 years ago, everything changed. That year had already been brutal. I lost my father unexpectedly in October, and the grief hit me hard. My mother suffered the most. He was her companion for 55 years. We couldn't stay long to support her, had to come back for our work. We offered her to come stay with us, but she refused, saying the house felt his presence. It was disheartening to see her grieving alone. My daughter saw how low I was getting and came up with the idea to spend the holidays with my mom. Jackie agreed at first. She said it would be good for the girls and for my mom, and I appreciated that. A week before Christmas, she suddenly changed her mind, told me she wanted to spend the holidays with her friends instead. Not just a night out, the whole holiday season. I felt like a slap in the face. I asked what had changed, and she said her friends had made this plan this year. They had booked a resort where they would spend the day, sipping wine and chatting about lives. Everyone in her group was ditching family time to spend this year with friends. If I pressed her for a sensible reason, she just exploded. Said she'd given 2 decades to this family, and now she needed something for herself. I told her I wasn't stopping her, just trying to understand what had suddenly changed. Her tone was cold and detached. It didn't sound like my wife. She wasn't the kind of person who would want to spend the holidays without family, especially her girls. I tried talking it out with her multiple times, asked if it was about my mom, maybe some underlying tension I wasn't aware of. But Jackie had always seemed fine with my mom. They weren't friends, but there wasn't any drama either. Both were on cordial terms. She dismissed the question and doubled down, said she'd already made plans and was going with her friends whether I liked it or not. At last, I even offered to go with her instead. Told her I'd change plans, stay back, ditch the family trip just to be with her. Yeah, stupid in hindsight. After my dad's passing, I saw how badly my mom craved her partner. I realized the importance of a spouse in old age. Hence, I wanted to spend as much time together. She said no, that she needed space and some alone time. The day we were flying out, I was packing and couldn't find my old hoodie. I remembered Jackie had borrowed it, so I went to her side of the closet. While digging, I found a shopping bag hidden under a pile of clothes. It didn't seem buried under the heap, but meticulously hidden. I pulled it out curiously and found a new set of lingerie with tags. Thongs specifically. Not one, several sets. 3 or 4 maybe. I don't remember the exact count. Jackie never wore thongs, but once in 19 years. The receipt was from 3 days earlier. I stared at the bag, stunned. Usually she showed me new clothes or asked my opinion. Why hide this? We hadn't been intimate in over a week. Had been mostly fighting over the trip. A part of me wanted a reason that maybe she bought it to gift her friends or something of that sort. But a part knew that this wasn't for me. I wanted to dig for more. Maybe track her down. But I had a flight in a few hours. The girls were ready to meet their grandmother. My mom was eagerly waiting for us. I couldn't ruin everyone's holiday for this piece of crap. I didn't say anything. I put it back as it was and left with the girls. My mom was thrilled to have us around, especially the grandkids. But my head wasn't in it. I was quiet and distracted. Jackie barely contacted me during that period. On Christmas Eve, she called the girls briefly. Sent me a single text, just, "Merry Christmas." I thought of coming back and hunting her down, but God knows what I was thinking back then. I just didn't feel like doing it. After the holidays, we came back home and suddenly she was the perfect wife. She drove to pick us up from the airport despite me telling that I could manage. She was super affectionate, over the top loving. Welcomed us by making my favorite meals. She even tried initiating sex that night, but I wasn't in the mood. Who wants to risk that? God knows what went inside her in that week. I couldn't fake it. When she went to work the next day, I checked the closet again and found the thongs stuffed into the back corner of a drawer. The tags were gone and smelled freshly washed. She used them while we were away. It gave all the answers I needed. That evening, I asked her directly how her holiday was. She gave a vague answer, said she and her girlfriends were just hanging out, eating takeaways, and watching old movies. I asked for pictures. She said they didn't take any. I pretended to be shocked. Not even one? This woman who takes pictures of every drink she has, every dish she makes, was telling me she didn't take any pictures with her friends during the holidays. She quickly bounces back that her friend might have a few, but hadn't sent them yet. I didn't even flinch. I said calmly, "I know you're lying. I talked to your friends. You weren't with them." She stammered, tried switching names. "Oh, maybe you called X, but I was with Y." I stared at her, just watched her, and she cracked open. Broke down crying, confessed she spent the holidays with a guy. Said it was just a paid thing with no strings attached. It was a bucket list thing she wanted to try before turning 50. She apologized over and over, said it meant nothing. I walked out of the room and went to my best friend's. He works in the legal business and patched me up with a divorce lawyer the next day. I was done. I couldn't stay in that house. I went back, packed what I could, and told her I was filing. She begged me to talk, asked me what I was going to say to the girls. I replied, "You figure it out." I left and moved into my friend's converted garage den. There was no privacy or comfort, but it was better than being near her. Now when I look back, I realize I was impulsive. The biggest mistake I made was not talking to my girls first. Jackie took full advantage. She spun the narrative like a pro. Told the girls I walked out because I was upset she spent Christmas with friends, that I was controlling and overreacting. Millie called me furious. Told me I was ruining everything. I asked her, "Is that what your mom said?" She went quiet. I didn't want to dump the ugly truth on them. They were too young to handle it. Didn't want to scar them. But Jackie refused to tell the truth. I texted her, "You need to tell them why this is happening, or I will." She said it was inappropriate, that I would destroy them. So I told Millie that her mom broke the trust in our marriage and wasn't honest without getting into the details. Jackie doubled down, told them I misunderstood, said she spent the holidays with her school friends, and in that group there was a male friend, and that's why I blew it out of proportion. That she had one guy friend, and I let my imagination run wild. I was at the losing end because I had no evidence of her cheating. I wasn't on this sub back then to be aware of what to do when you find your wife cheating on you. When she got served, she pulled another move, called my mother, and gave her version of the story. I hadn't told my mom anything yet. I didn't want to stress her out. Mom called me in tears, asking what the hell was going on. I had to sit her down and explain everything. She was devastated. Said she thought Jackie had a manipulative side, but didn't know she'd go this far. Warned me that Jackie now had the girls wrapped around her finger. She was right. The divorce process was brutal. Jackie never once admitted she cheated. She played the victim, said I was mentally unstable, emotionally distant, that I abandoned the family. We live in a no-fault state, so proving her cheating won't change anything in the divorce terms. She cried in mediation, said she was worried about the girls growing up without a father. She got everything, the house, the custody of the girls. I got visitation rights, but the girls don't want to see me. She got half my savings, half my retirement. It was like getting mugged and then beaten again in court. I texted the girls almost every day, called them every now and then, but it straight went to voicemail. I spent my birthdays, holidays, Father's Day, waiting for their text, but nothing came. It broke me. I was numb for months. Went to work, came home, slept, repeat. Didn't talk to anyone, ate like crap, lost 20 pounds, almost slipped into depression if my friend wasn't around. He would often show up at my apartment after I moved out of his garage, would push me to go out or pursue a hobby. Whenever I called my daughters, I either got silence or raging voicemails. "With you what now after destroying our childhood?" Initially, I would tear up, but eventually, something changed. I started to feel angry instead of sad, and that gave me some momentum. I started focusing on myself, eating properly, grooming myself, and then at work, there was this woman, Emma, 36 female. She worked in another team. We weren't close, but we saw each other as her cubicle was diagonally opposite to mine. After the divorce, I noticed she was always around, always kind. We started chatting more. We often took breaks together, ranted about work and the manager. I got to know that she was also a single mom, has a 3-year-old daughter. Her husband cheated on her when she was pregnant. She kicked him out and moved back in with her parents. We had parallel stories. On my birthday, I was sitting at my desk alone, replying to all the birthday emails I got from coworkers. Emma walked up and said, "Want to grab dinner tonight? You look like you could use it." I don't know what happened that I instantly said yes. Maybe I was too tired of being lonely. She brought her daughter. Cute little kid, bubbly, reminded me of my girls when they were that age. We talked for hours, and she honestly expressed that she liked me. She said she thought I was kind and gentle and that she respected me for not crawling back to my ex, even when everyone else turned on me. I was shocked at her approach. I asked her how she was so confident about asking me out. She replied, "I liked you and wanted to take a shot. Worst you could have said was no. What a big deal. I'm a mature woman. I can handle rejections." I cracked up. Next, she invited me to her house for brunch, which she was sharing with her parents. They were very kind people. We've been seeing each other for a few months now. It's low-key, and we're taking it slow. I enjoy spending time with her daughter. Take her to the lake where I used to take my girls when they were young. When Emma sees me enjoying with her daughter, she asks if I miss my girls, and it always tears me up. I have no idea how to win them back. Maybe when they're old enough, I'll tell them the truth. Not sure if they would believe me, but I'm just hoping that day would come when they would hug me and call me back. I still send them messages from time to time, let them know I'm here. I don't push, just wait. Maybe one day they'll ask questions. Maybe one day they'll see through the lies. Edit. The current age of my girls are 16 and 13. When I divorced, they were 13 and 10, quite young to have their own mind. Hence, I have no harsh feelings for them and hope they will come around. And yes, I do provide their child support and save money for their college. That's one of the terms of the divorce. I don't regret signing up for it. They're my babies, and I would do anything for them. Losing your dad, trying to be there for your mom, and then having your wife pull a stunt like that? That's a lot for anyone to handle. The way she switched up last minute and then lied about it? Yeah, that's not someone making a harmless me-time choice. That's someone making sure you're out of town for a reason. Update 1. It's been a whole year since I wrote that original post. A lot has happened, so I thought of updating my community. Life was going as usual. Emma and I got closer. We still didn't start living together, but she became a permanent guest at my place. We spent the weekend together, visiting parks and lakes with her daughter. Meanwhile, my mother fell ill. Emma and I visited her. We got her into a care house because she couldn't stay alone. Mom was happy to meet Emma. She was relieved that I finally had someone to share my feelings with. Just after a week, I got the news from the hospital that my mom passed away in her sleep peacefully. She was my anchor after my dad died, and despite the way things had ended with Jackie, my mom kept the door open for the girls. Even when they didn't visit, she sent them birthday cards and called on holidays. It broke my heart to know they wouldn't have that chance anymore. I impulsively drove to my old house. I couldn't bring myself to tell my daughters over the phone. This was news that had to be delivered in person. Sasha opened the door. I asked where her sister and mom was. She made a bitter face and asked, "Why are you here?" No greetings, no smiles. I was already very sad. Didn't have the heart to take it anymore. I replied, "Your grandma passed away last night. Thought of informing you guys in person." Tears rolled down my eyes as I said this. That was the first tear I had after hearing the news. She stood silent, didn't say a word. I walked out without even looking at her. Came back to my car and cried like a baby for a good 5 minutes and then drove back. Jackie called me, but I didn't respond. She dropped a text that she wanted the details about the funeral so she and the girls can attend. I replied, "I'm yet to decide on that. We'll update once I have it sorted out." Emma was home with her bag and packing my stuff. She said she has left her daughter with her parents and would be accompanying me. I told her to come on the funeral day, but she insisted on going with me. We flew out the same night. Emma helped me arrange for the funeral. I rolled out the information for everyone, including Jackie. At the funeral, Jackie arrived later with the girls. My stomach twisted when I heard the front door open. I braced for cold shoulders or quick hellos, maybe even the same blank stares I'd gotten in court years ago. But when they stepped inside, both girls rushed towards me and hugged me tightly. We cried, and that moment felt like a lifetime. They kept saying sorry. Then Jackie came forward and said, "I'm sorry too." I nodded. She looked more human than I'd seen her in years. The funeral was beautiful. Friends, neighbors, a few relatives came to pay their respects. Millie and Sasha stood with me the entire time. Sasha slipped her hand into mine during the eulogy. It reminded me of when she was little and used to do that if she thought I was sad. Emma gave me the space to be with my daughters. They helped clean up the dining room, putting away trays and food neighbors had brought. After the funeral, my daughters said they would want to spend a few days with me at my family's home. I introduced Emma to them, and it was obviously awkward. Emma flew back that same evening, wanted to give us some space. That wasn't needed, but that was her way of respecting our boundary. Jackie also left, leaving the girls to me. On the second day, I was visiting the farm with the girls, watched the sunset together. The moment was so surreal that it tempted me to ask these questions. Why did they hate me so much? And do they know the real reason for our divorce? I could have these talks with her now that they were mature, 17 and 14, but the fear of ruining the moment stopped me. The same night, when we were having dinner, Sasha confessed that she was feeling so good after a long time. They both filled me in on what was going on in their life, and the conversation went back to, "Sorry, Dad. We were so mean to you. We didn't want to, but we didn't know what to do." I asked what they meant. She said that Jackie told them I was breaking the house over silly reasons, so if they repel me, I'll run to them and stop the divorce. They thought it was the right way to stop me from going away. I asked them if they knew the real reason. They said they figured out eventually, but hated the idea of seeing us separated, hence supported her mother and did everything to stop the house from falling apart. The room was silent except for the ticking of my mom's old clock. Years of pain were condensed into those few minutes. I froze for a moment, trying to process her words. They said, "Please forgive Mama. She might have made a mistake, but she did a lot to save the family. We know we hurt you only because we don't want our house to break. Now when we were growing up, we realized maybe you were right. Loyalty is non-negotiable." They both constantly asked me to forgive them. How could I not forgive my babies? We hugged and cried and talked about the old days. They also said they liked Emma and were happy that I was moving forward in life. They wanted to know more about her. I told them how she'd been there for me when I was at my lowest, how kind she was, and about her little daughter. They both got excited to meet her. We came back to the city, back to our old lives. A week later, I got a call from Sasha asking me if I could pick them up. They wanted to spend the weekend with me. I gladly drove, was waiting at the driveway when Jackie came and invited me inside. I politely declined. She stood beside me for a minute and then said, "Sorry for everything. I know I screwed up. I thought if I could make you jealous, I could win you back. I never meant it to go this far." She almost broke down, explained herself in halting silences, that she had convinced herself that I'd come running back if she provoked me enough. I thought, "You still cared. You'd fight for me, but I ended up just pushing you away and taking the girls with me. I ruined their childhood, their innocence. I see that now." I stood there in silence. There was nothing left to talk about. I felt all those were incidents of my past life, realized I had healed and moved forward, that none of it bothered me, not even the apology. Maybe I had forgiven her because I felt nothing, not even hatred. The girls came out with their backpacks and I brought them home. Emma was nervous. She admitted to me the night before that she didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but she opened the door with a warm smile and her daughter peeked out from behind her leg. The first few minutes were awkward. Millie and Sasha sat on the couch while Emma's daughter clutched a stuffed bunny and watched them from across the room. Then Sasha asked, "Do you want to draw with me?" Emma's daughter's face slowed up, and soon they were sprawled on the floor with markers and paper. Millie joined them, and within an hour, they were laughing and sharing snacks. I caught Emma watching from the kitchen doorway. She whispered to me, "They're good girls. Your ex raised them well." Over the next few weeks, the girls started visiting more often. Sometimes they'd bring over old photo albums from the house, and we'd flip through them together. Sometimes they'd just hang out and help Emma's daughter build blanket forts in the living room. One evening, as I walked Millie and Sasha to their car, Millie said, "I wish we hadn't wasted so much time." Sasha nodded. "Yeah, we can't get it back, but we can be here now." It's bittersweet. The reconciliation came at the cost of losing my mom. She would have loved to see this day. Maybe this was her final gift, bringing us back together when we'd lost all hope. Emma held my hand that night and said, "She'd be proud of you." I believe she's right. I never thought I would share a space with my ex-wife without being mean to her. I guess that's what time does. Heal us in a way we thought we never would. Emma is permanently moving in with me next week. I might also start looking for a ring soon. We'll update if anything significant happens. Thanks for reading this. That's why their hug at the funeral hit so hard. They finally saw through the fog she created. It sucks it took losing your mom for that to happen, but I think you're right. She probably had a hand in the reconciliation from wherever she is. The way Emma's handled this says a lot, too. She's been nothing but respectful and patient, and now your girls are actually bonding with her and her daughter. That's something Jackie can't spin or sabotage. At what point do you stop calling it a rough patch and start admitting the problem was in person? Share your stories with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.